seconds.
Okay. Well, then I'll just send you a picture of. I had a kid today.
Okay. Okay. I moved him. I don't know what he's doing, but okay. Oh, you want to see this? Look.
Oh, fuck it. We could just do the whole podcast on that.
So clean, bro. I gotta charge it, but I'll probably be using it tomorrow. Shit is so fresh. Honestly, I think, so this is gonna sound weird, but as far as performance goes, I think the best part about it is he put new, so here's the original skates for OG Pro. He put these skates on it.
Okay.
So it's like a huge pad instead of just a little one. And that is like it's lighter for sure, but it feels so much better sliding across my mouse pad. Like I don't feel any friction or resistance whatsoever. It's fucking cracked. Yeah. Charge that bad boy up. And then, okay. We'll start in a couple minutes.
Never really paid attention to the skates of mine. Mine are covered in scratches.
Yeah, I never really like paid any mind to it, and then when I got that one, I just like swiped it around on my mouse pad for a little bit, and it's just like it felt like there was nothing. It felt like I was like not on the desk, like I was just moving it in the air. It was fucking crazy. Alright, let me pop this open on le teléfono. We're drifting through. Fuck yourself.
That was through a glove. Yeah. I was through a glove. I hit myself with a hammer. It's a fucking 2-pound sledge.
Schmackaroos, boy.
I'm fucking smart.
Macaroonies. I will say one thing about going back to streaming through OBS without restream or anything. It's nice to have the fucking chat just on my OBS, so I don't have to fucking have a whole nother thing pulled up on my other monitor.
Yeah. Oh, what was that story?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. So I was driving home from work, and usually when I'm leaving work, I check my GPS to see how long it's going to take because 95 is really bad.
Yeah.
So I checked my GPS and it said an hour and 35 minutes. Usually it's supposed to take about 35. So I was like, holy shit, this is fucking shitty. So I went and took a piss and I got in the car, whatever, and I'm driving. And I didn't realize how much water I drank that day, but I drank about 1.5 gallons of water today. And I'm in the car and I'm like, oh fuck, I just peed and I have to pee right now like a motherfucker. Like I really have to pee right now. And so I'm driving and I'm like, oh shit, like I really have to pee. Like this is bad. Like there is pee in my dick right now. I have to fucking pee now. And so I'm reaching around looking for stuff to pee in. And just so happens, being the Sacco finally came in handy, I had some piss bottles in the back. And I was like, oh shit, let me grab like 5 of these. I should be able to do 5 of these, no problem. So I start peeing in the first one, fill it up in about a millisecond, and I realize, oh shit, I'm definitely gonna need more. I'm gonna need about 50 of these fucking bottles. But another thing I didn't realize, you're muted by the way, another thing I didn't realize is Newton's law of piss in the dick applied to me. So I pinched it off, but there was still some pee in my dick that I didn't pinch off. So it came shooting out and all over my fucking driver's seat and on my hands and shit. It was gross as fuck. And so I was like, well, fuck it. I already committed this far. I'm not going to stop now. So I pull another bottle and I'm fucking peeing the bottle. Again, millisecond, bro. Like, I filled that thing up in about half a second. And I'm like, fuck. So I pinch it off again. And this time a lot more piss was in my dick. And I just fucking wham. You know, it's funny. I'm live, right? I didn't mute us. Welcome back, everybody, to Gamers Gaming Podcast, episode 11. We took a little bit of a hiatus, had a couple things going on. His work picked up. My work got kind of crazy. We're both fucking exhausted all the time. But here we are back again today. Also, for those of you that just heard the beginning half of my little story, you're welcome. I had quite the eventful drive home from work today. But today, we are going to be getting into some of the things. You know, we got Grand Champs finals coming up this weekend. Europe and Middle Eastern Africa is on Saturday. And I think Korea and Japan don't play for a little bit later. And then Oceania and some other shit. I'm not really sure what their schedule is, but then NA is on Sunday. So with that being said, we might jump into predictions a little later in the episode, but earlier So we're going to kick off the episode with what we think. So current state of Apex, how does it feel right now? Pubs and ranked, we'll split them up. And then what we think needs significant change, as well as what we think needs to be added to the game either next season or next content drop or whatever it is to keep the game going in the positive direction that it's been going in. Because I don't know if you agree, but I think season 9 is probably one of the better seasons that we've had in a long time. Like, I mean, season 8, I'm not going to say season 8 was bad, but it was no season 3. It was no season 4. You know, like it absolutely just like a blast to play. But it also wasn't a season 6. So it's
season
like
8 was definitely a turn in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then
they
they've been
capitalized.
improving the game.
So with the introduction of arenas, obviously that was like a big thing for a lot of people. For us, not really. I think arenas is kind of like that split down the middle. You can either play arenas for 8 hours straight and have fun every single game, or you can only play arenas for like 3 games and get so bored with this like cycle of just minute-long rounds of doing the same shit over and over. Oh my God.
It's like punching yourself in the dick a minute at a time.
Literally every single time. I mean, they could have done so much. So let's get into arenas first. Like, state of arenas right now, I would say it's good, but I think even the people that love arenas are getting bored with it. They need to do something. They need a ranked mode. They need other game modes, something that makes arenas more interesting. Because right now, in arena's current state, with the way the economy system works, with the way the maps are, and the map rotations, quote unquote rotations, it's like every 2 weeks they put one different map in and take one out. It's not really a rotation. The way everything's going, it's going to get stale. Like, I don't care how much you love arenas, it's going to fucking get stale very soon for everyone. It's already been stale for us, and I think people are kind of going to start coming to that. So, like, do you even think ranked mode will save it? I don't think ranked mode will save it, personally.
Oh, I think Arena's ranked mode is just a waste of time at this point. For the people that I guess for the people that like it, they're going to, thrive or, be completely terrible and still play it for whatever reason. But it's kind of I would say the majority of people, Arenas is just like a quick warm-up.
Yeah.
Get your aim on, you're focusing on a team fight.
Mm-hmm.
And you're focusing on a team fight that can either be extraordinarily focused, or spread way the hell out across the entire map. So, because we've come across teams where there's like one dude sniping way off in the distance,
mm-hmm.
and then you just have 2 people just full sending.
Yeah, he's either the greatest player in the world or the biggest fucking idiot, and he just does nothing, and we just destroy him. Like, there's really no workaround to that. But yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I just... Because my issues with arenas are they're not so simple, right? Like, at its core, I don't think arenas does well. Like, its economy system is very basic, so it leaves no strategy for you to learn or no meta to develop. Its round objective is literally just kill all 3 members of the other team, which isn't bad if, like... Maybe if it was like an LTM, that'd be cool. But considering they expect this to be a long-term playlist with ranked mode, excuse me. That's like, they need more. There needs to be like a King of the Hill. There needs to be a Capture the Flag. There needs to be an Oddball. There needs to be something, headquarters. Some sort of game mode to keep that interesting. Because this formula of spawn in, buy however many guns and shield bats you want every round, and just fight and then reset every single, boom, boom. Like what, probably you max out, most games only go to like 5 rounds usually, like if that, and I think that's being a little generous. Like, this formula at its core doesn't really work. It's very simple. For people that want it to be more developed, like for people that want it to feel more like a Call of Duty, like a Halo, like a Titanfall, like they want there to be a strategy and a meta to it. It just doesn't exist. And you see pros are like having their cute little Q snipe scrims, like, oh, we're scrimming arenas, which is really just like clickbait for content. And I understand that, but the pros that are doing that, there is no meta. You can Q snipe and scrim or whatever all you want, but there's no meta. It's just buy whatever gun you're good with, win the fight. The meta is what the meta is in a 3v3 team fight in regular Apex Legends BR. It's literally no different.
100%.
For them to try and make it seem like it's more than that is just ridiculous to me. I just don't see it.
Yeah. I think something that would really thrive there would be, like maybe introduce not like just a third team, but have like maybe even like a 2-team versus 2-team type deal, or have like an arenas mode with 4 teams, and then you have like a hard point type deal or something, something so that like when you die, you get a little instant boost to your economy, so you can upgrade the guns that you purchased in the beginning, and like the longer you stay in with like your base guns, when you do eventually die, because all these other people have way better weapons and armor and stuff, like you're gonna get a massive boost because you've been getting all those kills. So that's like it'll
and
sway.
picking up guns off dead people, blah blah blah. The normal BR stuff, but with that arena's twist on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, the number one thing that I think a lot of people were really confused about, I know we were confused as shit, and I think every time I play arenas with somebody or hear about someone playing arenas for the first time, the biggest question they have is like, where'd my gun go? And it's like, oh, by the way, you lose everything every round. You have to rebuy. And they're like, what the fuck is the point? Like, what's my incentive to win a round, like money-wise? Oh, but there is none. If you die, like if you get fucking wiped instantly, the next round, don't worry, you're going to have even better shit than you had the round before, because everybody gets the same amount of fucking money. It's like, oh, what? Like, where, strategy, like, what? It's fucking boring. Like, I don't understand. It just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me why that was the call for such a good potential game mode, and they just decided, nah, fuck it. Whatever. Like, who cares? But so that being said, I think we could go on arenas for a little while. I just don't think it's that. At the end of the day, it's really not that big of an aspect of Apex, honestly. I think they wanted it to be, and I just don't think it worked out the way they wanted it to, which seems to be the story of Apex devs. But moving on to current situation, let's go gun specifically. Yeah, so the current state of the game when we're talking about guns, just guns.
So I'm gonna say before we get into criticizing some things, I want to say that the change to ARs and how their multipliers happen, they still feel super balanced. Like, I think ARs are probably gonna be like, they're in a sweet spot right now. They don't need to change them. Like the R3, I mean, you were one magging kids just because your aim was on crack.
Feeling good, yeah.
That last day, yeah. But like, it does a good amount of damage at medium range, and if you get a good spray close range, you can still dumpster some people. Like, it's like the R301 in and of itself is like, I think it's probably the most well balanced weapon in the game.
Yeah.
And then you have the flatline, and the flatline excels. Like when you honestly, the flatline, if I'm gonna have a heavy weapon, I like having the flatline with handles. Because I feel like that headshot consistency I get with that, for whatever reason, is way better than I get with any other heavy weapon, which is weird because it's not a DMR, but that's how I treat it.
Yeah.
And then the Hemlock. The Hemlock it's exactly where it was at. Nothing changed. It's still super strong for that, just bursting people down, especially in opening game.
Which let's get into that a little bit for a second, because the Hemlock has not changed, like you just said. I think they ticked down its damage like 3 patches ago or something like that, barely. And it literally has not changed, but people have stopped using it. Now, the reason they've stopped using it, I think, is because all their favorite content creators have stopped complaining about it and moved to complaining to the Spitfire and moved to complaining to the Eva and other things that feel a little stronger right now. But the Hemlock has not fucking changed. It's just as strong as when everyone was complaining about how good the Hemlock was. Somehow, the Hemlock is one of those guns that constantly slides under the radar and like makes it past like everyone's attention, and they're like, oh yeah, the R3 is annoying, or the R9 needs to get non-meta because it's been meta forever, or the Volt is too good at every range, or blah 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 blah. And it's like, but what about the Hemlock? I'm still getting bursted down by controller players from fucking 100 meters out in like a millisecond. When my shot's on, I'm killing kids 2 seconds.
So the reason why I think that situation is because the reason why it was like so, prevalent that like we were getting just demolished by Hemlock is because people found out they were broken. So they were like, okay, we're gonna use the Hemlock. So everyone's picking up a Hemlock. They're all over the place. No one used to want them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But nobody like wanted them at first, and then they were like, oh wow, this gun slaps. And everyone wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
And now people are starting to, go back to abusing the guns that they abused before. The Spitfire, freaking the Prowler's out now. It's a care package weapon, but people used to abuse the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Especially when it got that buff for the
Burst.
the recoil reduction.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can just laser people. 5-round burst. It's gone. You're just like, they're deleted. Doesn't matter. And so it's like you see all these changes because it hasn't changed, because no one's like, they haven't done anything to it. No one's going to pick it up because it's the same weapon it was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's going to keep flying under the radar, especially if they don't do any changes. But just because it's like super strong doesn't mean it's necessarily the best weapon for any fight, because it's still, it's still a burst. If you miss that first burst, your entry damage is gone. Now you have to hope that you can correct. But I mean, if you miss the first burst, I know for me, I get frustrated, and then I miss the second burst, and then just
fucking
hit one shot out of the third.
Discard the Hemlock from your inventory mid-fight.
Start using my fists. Better luck with that. But
yeah, I don't even know. I think heavy guns in general right now are kind of, aside from the wingman being like just the wingman, like I don't think anyone's ever not going to use the wingman. And then obviously the Spitfire is broken, but I don't think we really need to talk about that. I mean, the Spitfire, for anyone out there that's watching and they don't know,
riveting gameplay.
Yeah, the Spitfire, it has a 55 round mag, and it does 18 to the body and 26 to the head or something in that realm. And with 55 shots, you can literally, this is not an exaggeration, 50 shots, there was a nerf. With 50 shots, you can literally hip fire spray, and that gun is accurate enough for you to kill an entire team of 3 people with purple shields without having to reload your gun a single time. I've done it before, he's done it before. It's funny in the moment, but it does not feel good. It does not feel good at fucking all. It feels, you just feel like a scumbag. I feel dirty. I want to take a shower after. It's just not a good time. But the wingman, I'll say the wingman is definitely in a better place now than it's been in a while. Because, as anyone who's played Apex for more than one season knows, the devs have a hard time nerfing or buffing something to the right place. It's always either, oh, this gun's a little weak, let's make it fucking nuts. And let's make it just absolutely smoke the shit out of everybody. Or this gun's a little too strong, let's make it so entirely useless that it, like, if you use it, you're literally dead. It doesn't matter how good you are. But now, lately, the new trend is when we're buffing something, we're going to do next to nothing to it. And when we're when we're nerfing something, we're also going to do next to nothing to it. I think the bow is the only thing they had like a good nerf for, like slowing down the draw time and decreasing the damage. I don't know why they're so scared about decreasing damage. What is the fucking deal? Like, just pop the numbers down, bro. I don't understand. It's not that crazy.
On red armor, just 3 body shots. You were killing things. It was nuts.
I mean, to be fair, now it only takes 4, But that fourth shot, I mean, it's hard to hit 4 consistent bow shots full charged on somebody unless they're just absolutely brain dead. But yeah,
No, you
bow.
gotta
I
hit
mean,
one headshot for 2 body shots.
yeah. But bow, I mean, I think the bow's in a good spot. I don't know how you feel
Oh
about
yeah.
it. I think it's fine.
So, I mean, you know me, I pick up the bow all the time. I enjoy the absolute hell out of the gun. For whatever reason, anytime that there's a bow type character in any game, anytime that I can just use a bow, I love it. I don't know why,
It's
but
an attraction.
it's just I love bows, I guess, in just in general. I
Bows
think
and
like
hoes. Bows and hoes.
and hoes.
Doc loves him
So-
some bows and hoes.
But anyway, no, yeah, I mean, they definitely brought it to the right spot. I don't think it needs to be nerfed again. I think if they did do any type of nerf, the timing for Deadeye's tempo needs to be a little tighter.
Right.
Because it actually, I think it holds a charge a little bit too long, and it needs to be something that, like, you got to be good with your flicks.
Yeah.
And make it just a little bit more skill based, not just super, like, or you make it so that the person has to spam it, and it really screws them on, their arrow economy.
Yeah. And I mean, I
Because-
would say a better, so like a way to nerf that, without doing too much, like, let's try and minimize the nerf buff process. 2 things. 1, make bow hop-ups harder to fucking find. I see hundreds of them a game. Shattercaps and Deadeye's tempo. I see hundreds of them a game. So decrease the drop rate of them for starters. Also because you're fucking up my loot pools, and I would really like a fucking quick draw holster every now and then. And then secondly, allow the bow to only have 1 of the 2 hop-ups at a time. So if you want Shattercaps, if you want that close range utility, throw Shattercaps on there. But now you can't have Deadeye's tempo. Does that decrease your efficiency long range? Not really, not that much. But does that make the gun more of a decision-based process as opposed to just being this all-inclusive, we can do everything gun? Yeah. And I feel like that would put it in a much better spot.
I will say that having both Deadeye's tempo and Shattercaps is absolutely insane when you switch over to Shattercaps, because it keeps that Deadeye's tempo rhythm. So you're just freaking.
Yeah. It's nuts. I mean, have I ever been killed by Shattercaps on a bow? Not a single time. I feel like I would remember if I had, and no one has ever pushed me with that. I've gotten maybe, I think, 1 knock with one out of, like, desperation, not on purpose. Like, it's not like I chose that. It just happened. And, so that being said, I don't think there's too much that needs to happen to the bow. Overall, so ammo types, right? I think right now, and for a very long time, I don't see this changing. I think light and shotgun are very, very dominant in the game. Like, light guns and shotguns are the 2 things that you can almost guarantee you're going to go up against when you go against a team. Now, that's excluding the Spitfire thing. Obviously, we run into a lot of Spitfires. Excluding that, when you're talking about high-tier lobbies with high-tier players, majority of high-tier players are going to be running either an R9 or an R3 with either a PK if they're stupid or an EVA if they're smart. That's generally speaking, that's pretty much what you're going to be going against. So if you go up against anyone that seems a little better, right? Like maybe they're moving a little better, maybe they're shooting a little more accurate than, your Joe Schmo who barely knows how to loot a death box. You can guarantee that when you get close to them, they're going to pull a fucking shotgun out, and you're about to be in a shotgun fight. And if you don't have one, you can feel the difference in that close range fight. Even with an R9, if your shot's on with an R9, sometimes you can just fry kids. But if your shot is even slightly below your best shot on your best day, going against a shotgun is almost always going to win. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, unless they're absolute dog water.
Yeah, dodge, fucking ball sack. And then, so I actually saw an interesting tweet about this. It was like someone was saying, It would be interesting to see what Apex feels like without shotguns, because although we're not in a shotgun meta right now, shotguns do feel very necessary to have at least one on your team. So I guess you could say that that's a meta, but I wouldn't really describe that as a meta. I would more describe that as a trend. So someone was saying, what if we just removed shotguns? And then someone else counterpointed and they were like, well, if we remove shotguns, all that's really going to do is make mouse and keyboard players feel much less comfortable in the close range fight and take all of their fights from mid to long range and use their utility to control distance as opposed to close the gaps. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, because I mean, controller players do have that obvious edge in close range engagements,
Yeah.
especially with some of the stuff that I've been seeing lately. Just how they can spam abuse like crouch and ADSing to
Yeah.
make it so that their spread stays tight as if they were ADSing.
Mm-hmm.
Which, speaking of which, Apex fixed that. That's horseshit. Like it expands all the way out to almost 100 meters, where it's like they're ADSing, but they're getting that soft lock,
Yeah.
and it's so dog shit. But anyway, aside from that, yeah, that it would 100%. You would see mid-range to long-range engagements. You would see a lot more sniper play, just for the fact that you're screwing over controller players.
Yeah.
because your single taps are going to always be better from longer range on mouse keyboard.
Yep.
It's much easier to point and click in that regard.
Mm.
But like, there's no point in taking the close range fight. The same point, you're going to see controller players probably doing a lot less aggro pushes out in the open to get close. It's probably going to be more, I don't know about coordinated, but more like thought out process of getting like from cover to cover through areas,
Right.
so that they can force you into a close range engagement, be it like zone coming in, or even if it's just final zone, just making sure that they survive until then so they can win the game.
Right. Like actually being smart about it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's hard to tell too, because like talking about different game modes between ranked and pubs, like it's like two different worlds. Like they are not playing, each one does not feel the same. Like the aggression that players have in ranked is very well executed. Especially because we're up into the Diamond Masters lobbies.
Yeah.
The aggression that is so well executed to the point where I'm not even talking about rev totems. I'm not talking about Wraith Portal EMPs, blah blah blah, like all these combos. I'm simply talking about how the players move in to take the fights against us and other teams is so well executed to the point where you would think that these three players are a pro team that scrim every single day and practice every single day. But they might just be three friends that play a lot. And they execute their pushes so well. And I think Respawn has given them the utility, which I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just stating the fact. Respawn has given them the perfect utility to play aggressive like that and get away with it because of the entry and disengage options they've given. Like now we've got Octane's jump pad, which the only thing I will complain about is Octane's jump pad when you're in the air is fucking silent. It's completely silent. You have no idea if a team is about to land on you. That's my one complaint. Moving on. You got Octane's jump pad into like a Gibby dome, into a Bloodhound scan, into a Valkyrie ult to fly out to disengage. Valkyrie's tactical is a great disengage tool. Same thing with Gibby's, all of Gibby's utility in his kit. Like all of these things are really good engage and disengage tools. So it made it so much easier for the player who maybe didn't know the game that well, but was really cracked, like just so good at aim and movement, but didn't necessarily know the game well enough to execute a push without any of these utilities. Now he has all of these options and they're very in your face and they're very obvious on how to use them. So they just throw them out there and they're finding a lot of success. And I think that's what's making it really hard for players who get into ranked and don't understand how to be aggressive or don't understand how to counter aggression other than like, oh, we'll just play Watson or we'll just play Caustic, and that shit doesn't work. Like they're too weak right now.
Freaking, I mean, it's not as bad as, season 8, like the ending of season 8 with the brain dead, just push everything, take the
Revenant
50-50
Totem.
meta.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's not as bad right now, but it still definitely has bled over where
Yeah.
you see that like constantly. Like you're gonna have at least one team, not every fight, maybe every third fight, there's gonna be a team that just sends it. Just and if you're not prepared for that at that moment, that could just break that game for you. You might just lose because you were just prepared to take like, that medium range fight where they were, and then they rotate right just out of your vision, and then boom,
They're literally inside of you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've only heard an Octane jump pad just one time, and it's also I was watching him come at me at the top of a building.
Yeah.
We were far away from any other ambient noise on the map. It just, and it was there. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I only heard him when he was in frame. So it might have just been a mental thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah. Like you see him and you kind of hear it because you see him type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it's not in your cone of vision, the game doesn't actually render the noise.
Right. It's just stupid, dude. Shit. Audio. I don't even want to get into audio because that's just like a whole thing. Everybody knows it. Yeah, everybody understands that that's a fucking huge problem, and I don't even know if there's anything that the devs could really do about it at this point.
70% of the background noise.
Yeah, I mean, but even then, like, is that going to fix the footsteps? Is that going to fix the jump pads? Is that going to fix the Valcolts? Is that going to, I feel like there's too many problems, and I don't think there is one or two good solutions. I think it's going to take months and many patches that Respawn is too scared to do.
Yeah.
Now, what was the next thing I was going to say? So, state of the game in that sense, I will say this, pubs, I would say one out of, let's say we play 7 nights a week. We usually play 7 nights a week, maybe like 6. I would say only one of those 6 or 7 nights a week, pubs are frustrating.
Yeah.
Which, considering Apex's track record, that is fucking incredible. That I'm only frustrated with pubs once a week. Whereas before, I was frustrated with pubs 5 to 6 times a week. But I just like pushed through because, I was trying to make content and all this other stuff. I just forced myself to keep playing. But it was not a good experience. It was not fun. The third parties were atrocious. The guns were atrocious, everything. But right now, we're looking pretty good. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of R3s, a lot of R9s, a lot of Volts, a lot of Wingmen. I don't really... You won't come up to 2 different death boxes in a team and see the same kit ran. Whereas before, it's like, oh, well, if you don't run an R9 or a Wingman, you're never going to have ammo because no one runs energy, no one runs sniper, no one runs shotgun. It's just R9 Wingman. That's what's dominating. Or like there was a time where it was Havoc PK or blah, blah, blah. Whatever the kit was for that season, it was like, if you don't run that, good luck with ammo, motherfucker, because you are not going to have a good time. Like for all the energy ammo users out there was a good 7 seasons where y'all were out in the dust, just fucking hanged out to dry, no energy. If you didn't find 400 off the start, you're not going to be able to use the gun.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it's nice.
Granted, energy still does feel a little bit lacking in most games, but then there's some games where it's like you find nothing but.
Yep.
So I don't know if maybe like they did their algorithm wrong or something. I think that their loot table for ammo is a little off. And it might be game to game, but there's games where like I don't find an energy weapon like at all, or I'll find like nothing but like a couple L stars.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have come across like 600 to 700 energy ammo, like from landing spot to rotation, and all the bins in between,
Right.
Like, but none of us are gonna run an L star because I'm gonna be honest, for whatever reason, I only run the L star if it's the weapon I landed on and there's enemies nearby.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
If there's no one around me, I don't even pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just doesn't make sense to. But then you think about light. I see an average of 1,000 to 1,500 light ammo every single game.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not including death boxes, none of that. That's just supply bins and on the ground.
Yeah.
Easily 1,500 light ammo a game. So it's like, I mean, yeah, there are more light guns than any other class, or I guess not anymore. Maybe I don't know. Whatever. There are a lot of fucking light guns, right? But there are also a lot of heavy guns, and the heavy guns don't get as much love. You don't see as much heavy ammo. You still see a lot. You probably see 1,000, maybe 800, but nowhere near the amount of light ammo. I mean, I'll find 300 light ammo in one building. And that happens all the time. That's not like, oh wow, I can't believe how much light ammo there is here. It's like, oh, light ammo. Once again, here we are. Like, let me drop 120 because I actually have too much after looting my one supply bin. Like, it's just crazy.
It's not even including you get into a team fight and everyone on the other team has 200 to 300.
Yep. And now, hey, anyone, I'm running this Volt that I have 20 shots with, so I might as well just switch because even after both my teammates get up to 300 light ammo apiece, there's still 200 light ammo left over on these death boxes. So I'm perfectly fine to grab as much as I need. It's fucking crazy. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's a bad thing. Maybe it's a good thing because light guns are fun to use right now. They do feel like they're in a good spot. I like where the R9 is. I like where the R3 is. I hate the Scout, but I mean, it is in a good place meta-wise. I mean, even the RE...
I wouldn't care.
Yeah, I fuck that gun. But even the RE45 and the Alternator, even though they're lower tier, like they're the lower tier guns in the light ammo department, they still feel pretty good. Like, I mean, you can still one mag with an Alternator. You can still one mag with an RE45. It's still possible. You just have to hit your shots. It's just a little harder, I think. I feel like the upgrade to the R3 and the R9 is more of a, going from hard mode to easy mode as opposed to a necessary upgrade to be able to complete, to be able to win a game.
Yeah.
But, so moving forward, what do we think so first we'll start off with what do we want in the next season? I think this is a little forward thinking. We're a little far away from the next season. I think we're coming up on a month and a half away from the next season, which sounds close, but I mean, 50 days in video game world is 2 years. So, we're coming up on the next season. Season 10 it's going to hit close faster than we think. And we're already 10 seasons in Apex. That's fucking crazy that we have been dedicated to this game for that fucking long. That is insane to me. But, so what do we want in the next season?
I want a new grenade.
Facts.
Like a new
Facts.
it bothers me so much that we've been promised all these things, all this new equipment, two new freaking legends. I'll be fine with all of those promises broken. Give me a new nade that adds something to the game.
Yes.
Rip it off Titanfall. I don't care. You have options.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't give me a gas grenade.
Oh my god, please no.
Anything but that. But the freaking that vortex grenade, the gravity grenade.
Yeah.
So that you could legitimately you chuck that over at a freaking corner of a building, and then you chuck a different just a frag, and it just wraps around.
Yeah, but but they screwed themselves on that. So there are two grenades that I think we both wanted. If not, I know I at least wanted them. One was the vortex grenade that you were just talking about, and the other one was like an EMP type grenade to where you knock out the other team's abilities for a short amount of time. Now, both of those things we got screwed on in multiple ways. So one, Horizon's ult. So we're never going to see a vortex grenade because Horizon's ultimate exists. And two, the EMP type thing, you got Crypto and Revenant. Both have abilities that work in that function. So we're never going to see those two types of grenades. And I don't even know if there are any other kinds of grenades that could exist. They've already got fire, they've got base explosions, and they got a grenade that sticks and stuns.
And you got the knuckle clusters.
Well,
so even a cluster grenade,
I'm telling you, they're knocking everything out with utility. Whereas I think I would rather have some of those abilities accessible to me via grenade in a much lower tier fashion, as opposed to having to pick these specific legends to use these specific abilities. I would much rather have it in grenade form and then have legends with different mobility options.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I mean, yeah.
mobility legends always reign supreme. Like until you get into like super like super high or super low
Yeah.
gameplay, do you like see like the actual defensive legends and
Yeah.
like
Caustic,
other strats?
Watson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
other strats come out. Like you, for whatever reason, you see that in the lower tier gameplay
Mm-hmm.
because they're not confident in their shots, so they need something to
Yeah. Some aggressive utility
fortify.
or aggressive utility, like things that do
Yeah.
damage, essentially.
Hmm. But like in pubs, it's like it's mobility all the time. Like
Octane, Horizon, Pathfinder, uh, fucking
Bangalore, even.
Bangalore, Wraith. You know, just people that
Oh,
can
yeah.
move.
Hmm. So if they're gonna give me a legend that has an ability that would be cool in grenade form in some facet or the other, just give me the grenade, rework the legend, and make that legend do something different with movement.
Yep.
And I understand that's going to be hard because verticality. I mean, you have Horizon, freaking, oh my gosh, Valkyrie. I wanted to call her.
Horizon, you got Sky Bitch, you got,
Yeah, and freaking Pathfinder
yeah,
that completely dominate vertically,
absolutely.
and Octane coming in as that like he can do that too. His is more like boom team reposition horizontal movement out of this world. Plus he
Mm-hmm.
can stim and get out of the place quick.
Yeah, yeah.
But like in all those all those legends are super super fun to play
Mm-hmm.
in one fast or the other.
Yeah.
Like because you can do crazy stuff with all of them. You can
Mm-hmm.
have insane saves. Like oh my gosh, like I need to jump off the edge of the world right now, throw a horizon pad at this little tiny rock jetting out, save myself, and fly up
Yeah,
15
yeah,
feet.
yeah.
And boom.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Just crazy
crazy
shit.
stuff you can
Yeah,
do.
crazy
Yeah,
shit.
all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have legends like Watson, Fuse, being like, the newer. Watson's really not that new, but
Yeah.
and Rampart, all right? They're so underutilized because they are actually boring as fuck to play.
So boring. Yep.
Like it's just baffling that they keep doing that. They'll put this new legend in and then like what does Fuse really have? Knuckle clusters and an accent. Like he's useless.
I was
I don't
expecting
know.
the accent part. Knuckle clusters and an accent. That's fucking awesome. No, but yeah, I mean, it makes it. You got a good point. Like he doesn't do shit, and it's like the best. So if from a let's switch gears for a second, right? From a coaching perspective, in like we'll talk high tier ranked and pro play. Why don't we see these legends? And when we do see them, it's trolling. Why is that? And I mean, at the end of the day, what does your utility provide for one of a couple things? What does it provide to a team fight? What does it provide to a rotation? And what does it provide to endgame? Those are the three big things that you have to think about when it comes to utilities. What does your Legends abilities provide to one of those three things? And what I'm talking about there is, so let's talk about rotations, right? What does your Legend provide to rotations? So Fuse, Rampart, all that other shit. She can throw shields down. They have 45 fucking health until they're up. And even when they are up, I'm just gonna fucking run at you. I don't care. If I'm already fighting you and I see a Rampart shield go down, you're dead. I'm flying at you at 100 miles an hour and I'm killing you. Now you switch gears and you think about Octane. Instead of throwing that Rampart shield down, now you're throwing down an Octane jump pad. You and all your teammates, one, maybe two might get fried out of the air, but majority of the time, you're going to make it out of that fight.
Yeah.
Now you think about endgame, right? What does your Legends utility provide in endgame? So for this, I think the best example would be Gibraltar and Gibraltar bubbles. Gibraltar bubbles are absolutely the most overpowered piece of utility to have in the late game. Because what he does is creates you a new position to play, a defended position to play for 12 seconds in an end zone which possibly has no position. So with a smart Gibby with good bubble placement, your team can win off a Gibby bubble alone because you have cover to play off of and the other teams don't. Now, last thing is, what does it provide in a team fight? Now, this is where I could kind of see people making the argument like, oh, Rampart shields, they boost my damage and they protect me, blah, blah, blah. Or like fuse grenades, I can break the door and do 50 damage. Like, I got it, right? I understand. But at the end of the day, none of that shit matters. So I'm going to switch gears and I'm going to change it up a little bit to what we've been talking about. I'm going to talk about Valkyrie. Probably thought I would have brought Valkyrie up on the rotation thing, but what I want to bring her up about is her tactical jets, right? What is it, VTOL jets? Whatever.
Yeah.
Those are possibly, with a good Valkyrie in the right situation, those are possibly the best engage and disengage tool in a team fight in Apex Legends right now. I don't think there is anything better to open or close out a fight with. Simply because it does a decent amount of damage, not too much damage, right? It doesn't feel very high impact when it comes to damage, but it stuns for what is like 2 seconds maybe.
Yeah, that's enough.
That is nuts for me and, you know, somebody else to fly in while you're fucking hitting them with jets and then they're stunned and they got like maybe 25, maybe 45 damage on them. I'm cooking them, bro. I don't care what gun I have. If you're standing still from a stun, you're getting cooked. So those three things are why Legends are meta or are not meta. Which is why people think, you know. Go for it.
And then say like your teammates are healing, right? And you're up, you're Valkyrie, and you know a team's gonna be pushing you, and they can only push you from like, and you're in like a relatively large room. We'll say like one of the bunkers, like just pick a bunker or pick something with like a high ceiling, you know, where there's those opening double doors.
Yep.
They open those doors, you just slam your jets there. Your teammates just got another, 2-3 seconds to get whatever heal they had off, while the other team is now disengaged, wanting to avoid that area.
Yeah. Well, I would even push to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because of the dodge time.
Yeah, and then you can, after you do that, because obviously you had to be in an open position just to do that, right after that last missile leaves, you got a couple seconds to go move on over, get to a covered position in your area. So it's like, and that's like a slight disengage right there. But even then, like if you're trying to run from a team, you just turn around, throw your freaking VTOL jets behind you, and they're in that area. They now have to avoid them, and that breaks their, visual contact with you. So it's going to make that escape even just a little bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, these are the types of abilities, and again, right? We can kind of go back to like Fuse, for instance, or I guess Fuse is really the only good one for this example. It's like, oh well, I can do the same thing with a cluster grenade. No, you can't. I'm running straight through your cluster grenade. Any player with half a brain and more than a day or two's of experience in Apex is going to run straight through your cluster. His utility just doesn't have the same effect. Oh, I can throw a Rampart shield so my teammates can heal behind them. Again, if I see a shield, I'm running through it. I'm going to break your stupid little amp, and I'm running at it.
With one shot while it's building.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's just, she's weak. She's weak. Her turret is the most, like, I can't wait to kill this motherfucker thing I've ever seen in this game. When I see that red dot, I'm like, yes, I get a free kill today. Thank you, Rampart player. I really appreciate this one free kill that I'm going to get this game. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a buddy burn the shield and someone throws an arc.
That's what I'm saying. It's over. It's over, bro. But we don't have to keep ragging on people. So what do we want to see? Right? Let's get back to that. What do we want? So let's go guns. What let's say ammo.
Because I really don't know what they can do. They just start adding, rocket. What I want to see, I think the Prowler should absolutely, heavy SMG, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's and actually has a place to compete with the R9 and Volt, because right now, SMG wise, R9 and Volt, there's no, like, the alternate will do in a pinch. The RE45 will do it a bit, but what else do you have SMG wise?
Mhm.
Like, there's not enough of them.
Yeah,
in my
I've got
opinion,
seven.
because-
I've got 7 ARs and 2 SMGs.
Yeah, like, give me an SMG that's heavy ammo. I don't want another energy gun. I'm cool if they take out everything but the Volt.
Yeah.
Like, energy guns, honestly, I don't. It's like, yeah, the Havoc can slap, but someone with, the same aim can do more damage quicker with a different gun.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Havoc, even with turbocharger. It's really strong. Don't get me wrong, but I'm still gonna take a Volt over a Havoc.
100%. Every time.
Yeah, just because your mid range with the Volt is way better,
Yeah.
and your close range is more precise. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even though the Havoc spread really isn't too bad close range when you're hip firing it,
Yeah.
the Volt still
Still
you
better.
get that movement speed buff. It's
Yep.
like you can just dance around people while you're just unloading. But yeah, I want a heavy SMG
Mm-hmm.
and possibly, a rework of a certain sniper rifle that I hate.
Charger. Yeah, I agree with the SMG thing. I don't even know really what I would want to see. What I have an idea. I just don't know how this would execute.
Lay it on me.
I kind of this is gonna be weird. I kind of want a double barrel shotgun.
Slugs.
Yeah. I'm serious. I kind of want a double barrel shotgun. I want something with high output, high recoil, right? So it's not easy to hit 2 shots in a row, like no problem, right? But with a hop up for slugs. So I can hit someone at no more than 55 damage at mid range if I swap to the slugs, but I still only get those 2 shots in my barrels. I think that would be so much cooler of an addition than something that I kind of see coming, which is another sniper rifle. I'm not going to lie. I think another sniper is going to be in Season 10, and I'm upset about that. It's either going to be another sniper or another fucking energy gun. I would rather see a double barrel. We've had 4 shotguns in the game since the game is released. We have not gotten a new shotgun. That is the only gun type now in the game that has not had a new development on it. And I think a double barrel would be super fucking cool. I want this bitch to hit consistently over 80 damage close range per shot. But I want the recoil and the reset time to be ridiculous so that it's not
What do you
broken.
want its spread to be when it's not in slug form?
Fat.
Like this,
Yeah.
like wide.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like
completely
massive on
useless.
ABS.
Yeah, exactly. Completely useless mid range. Completely useless outside of 10 meters, but consistent 80 and up when you're in my face. I want something that makes me use a shotgun as a shotgun.
So like 4 wide pellets.
Yeah, just boom, just bang, and it just hits. And if you're in my face, I'm getting you for an 80, 100%. And if I get you good, it's going to be like 120. But again, the big recoil, right? So I like boom, so I can't track you as easy. And then a longer reset time, so I can't just bang, bang. And then, Yeah, I'm telling you, that'd be fucking insane. It'd be so fun. And what would that do to third parties? You're not third partying me in a building. Absolutely not. Get in here. Get the fuck in here. Let's do this, bro. I'm gonna grab a shield and I'm gonna sit by the door with my boomstick and I'm gonna wait for your bitch ass to come through the door. I'm telling you, things like that are what would change the game. I'm telling you.
Make the boomstick a freaking care package weapon.
Literally, make a gun called the boomstick. I'm with that.
Ooh, or make the slug hop up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The slug
Care
is a hop
package
up.
dependent.
Oh, ooh. So it hits same damage, but fucking at range?
Yeah. 80
80
body, 120 head.
Okay.
at the medium range.
That'd be fucking obnoxious, but I'm with it. I'm down. I'm there. You know, I vibe
You'd
with
have
that.
to get used to the yeah, and they would obviously have to put like some sort of drop.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. It'd be stupid. It'd be like fucking shooting a cannon. Yeah. No, I'm cool with that though. I mean, for the payout. Geez, we were dropping frames for a minute there. So another thing, so something that just kind of came to mind that I think I would be okay with this version of a sniper. So did you play Advanced Warfare Call of Duty? The first jetpack Call of Duty?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay. So there was a sniper and a pistol in that game where you only had one bullet and you had to reload that one bullet when you shot. So it was like bang, reload, you know. I would like to see something like that as either a marksman rifle or a sniper rifle. And now there would have to be, I don't know, this is where I'm kind of like lacking in my own, you know, want of this weapon. But I don't know how you would maximize that, right? How you would make it compete with the longbow or whatever. But there would be some way, like either make the reload really slow and the damage really high, or maybe give you an option for like a Deadeye's tempo where you reload a little faster, but the damage is a little lower, you know, something like that. But I think that would be a good way. That would be a good sniper to have in the game because it would have to actually be used as a sniper. You know what I mean? Like you can't, like the longbow, I can get up in your face and I can have some decent success with the longbow. Same thing with the triple take. Sentinel, not so much. Maybe medium range is probably the best for that one. And then the charge rifle, we don't even need to talk about that. But I think having a one-shot reload sniper would actually force people that run snipers constantly to use them as snipers instead of, you know, just having this all-inclusive gun. So I think that would be cool. If they're going to add a sniper, that's the only thing I would want to see.
And honestly, so this is something that's kind of bugged me for a while. Is like, you see it happen on like, you know, a lot of streamers will do this. They'll put like just a 1x on a longbow.
Well, they used to. They used to.
Yeah, they used to.
Yeah.
Like, you used to see that like all the time. 1x's. It's like it's a ranged weapon, and they're able to get away with it, obviously because you know they're just that skilled at the game.
Yeah,
They can play rhythm fights like that a lot better than most.
Mm-hmm.
But I would see that all the time. Is like I would run it, you know, a sniper. Maybe like make it so a sniper starts with a 2x4 optic.
I hate those
Or
things
something.
too, so I would use snipers even less than I do now.
Yeah, but I'm saying like make it a ranged weapon.
But I don't even think you can
Actually.
I don't think you can put 1x's on snipers anymore.
Oh no, you can.
Can you?
Yeah. I had a red dot on my longbow the other day and my sentinel the other day because it's the only optic I could find.
Yeah. It's obnoxious, but I mean again, that's one of those things where it's like you're only really
That's
going to
just
have an
preference.
issue. Yeah, you're only really going to have an issue with that when you're at the highest level. You're not really going to Joe Schmo isn't going to pick up a longbow with a red dot and slap everybody. It's just not going to happen. But so now legends, right? I don't know if we want to get into maps. That's a conversation for another day because that's a whole lot of talking to do about fucking what we need to happen to maps. But legends, the next legends. Obviously, I think we already made it pretty obvious that we would like the next legend to be a mobility-based legend. But what left is there? What is there left for them to do with mobility? Like they've got flight, they've got gravity, they've got grapples, they've got speed. I don't know. I don't know.
Speaking, so even if they, okay, given that they have almost, I'm going to say like they have every like facet covered for it. I think maybe they make a defensive, like an actual defensive legend, right?
Okay.
It can even have fortify, whatever.
Another fat boy. Okay.
Yeah, make it a fat boy, but make it matter because caustic ain't it. They need. You
I
might
hate
as well,
Caustic.
like, yeah. His fortify is also useless on him because he's still just a freaking
Meatball.
giant meatball of a freaking legend.
Yes, sir.
So it's like, yeah, the damage trade-off is like, you know, like you have to shoot him a couple more times, but he's also fat. You're gonna hit those shots anyway.
Yes,
Like-
you will.
Like,
At least I hope you will.
yeah, it's like the only time that like his size really doesn't come into play is that super long range where it's just like that's just you were gonna hit that shot or not. Him being just 2 pixels fatter at that range is not gonna really change anything.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and don't make him just tubby. Make him like a yoked motherfucker. Like make him like a big
Forge.
Dude. Yeah, Forge.
Forge.
Something like Forge.
Yeah,
but he's already dead.
Oh man. I mean, I would say I don't know. I don't really know what I would want to see. I think there's one. So I don't know if this is necessarily an idea that could be acted on. But what I would have loved to see, which I've been wanting to see since the game came out, is another. So take the legends that we have, right? We have a pretty good pool of legends at this point. We have like, what, 6, 12, or I don't know, however many we have. Take those and expand upon what they do in another version of themselves, right? So you've got Wraith, right? This is an easy one that I think about all the time. Wraith with her Wraith form, and the Void is her big thing. She uses the Void to go into Wraith form to make portals, whatever. So why not add another character, right? And then you could use the lore and all that other shit, like, oh, this is another test subject, and have her just do exactly. Have her do a portal, right? But she takes the portal in her hand, almost like a grenade, and she throws the portal. And then your teammates can run through. They have it has 3 uses. One for you and one for each of your teammates. You can run through and it can only go the distance of like a Gibby bubble. So you can just whip a portal, all 3 of your teammates take it. It's a quick rotational tool and then it's gone. Or maybe that's a little too strong. Maybe we switch it up and she gets a blink, like a tracer blink. Very short range, only horizontal, not vertical. A short range blink. So, maybe you want to transfer rooftops. Maybe you want to blink behind an enemy. But the caveat to that is it can only be one blink. It can only be one. And where that blink is going needs to have some sort of indicator and a very loud audio cue. So that she's not just, literally tracer blinking all over the place. It's just one blink. You can get behind somebody or maybe you can get around a corner, whatever the case is. And then you just have to fight from there. So things like that, because then you think about other characters, right? So Pathfinder's grapples. What if find another way to do grappling? I don't know if there is. I think it's a simple mechanic, but there's something there. Like you've got all these game designers with years of experience up there. They have to have some ideas. One of them has to be cooking up a really good mobility legend that just has not been put into the circuit. And I would love to see somebody add something in that gives me a brand new, really fun mobility option. Maybe speed is the way. Maybe making another legend with some sort of speed-related option is the move. I mean, Octane's a lot of fun, but I think he could be expanded upon. I think there's other cool stuff you could do with Stim. Like maybe have Stim... Ooh, this is a good one. So they Stim, but they can jump far as shit. Like boost their jump distance and speed, or their jump height and jump distance by like 3 times or 2 times or something while they're stemmed. That'd be fucking cool. I could get behind that. I have no issues with that. I don't think that would be broken. I think it would be very interesting. Like things like that. That's the kind of stuff that we need to see moving forward. 'Cause I'm sick of this fucking, oh look, we can put down amps. Amp shields. Look, fuck off.
I do have a question. So about the portal grenade, basically.
Yeah.
One, would that be would that be the ultimate?
No, tactical.
No, okay, so tactical.
And the 3 uses
would have a really long cooldown.
Right. And the 3 uses would be for anyone.
Yeah.
So if you throw it to try and escape and you take it, but your teammates are knocked, 2 people from the other team can jump into that portal too. And now it's pretty much useless. So that would be a balancing factor to it.
Yeah. So seeing as how Wraith is the first, test, well, not the first, obvious as lore goes, but the first escaped that we get to see.
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to be a more perfected version of a portal. So will I be able to like, I don't know, maybe throw a piece of utility through it?
Right. So, and that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Give us those options. And then, like, all right, so Apex loves their lore. I think it's stupid. I think you're not really that into it. It may be a little, we touch on it here and there.
Yeah.
But maybe have this new Wraith Void user be like the perfected test subject, like you were saying. But it's like, it was the thing that they were using to hunt down Wraith and kill her or bring her back to the lab or whatever. And she's, you know, she's this like Omni looking fucking like beefed out fucking, you know, she's got robot arms and that's where the portal comes out of like a pew, like a disc and then it fucking, you know, ding, 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 doing some crazy shit. Like just some fucking cool looking like Terminator style fucking Wraith. Like that'd be cool as shit. And it's like, okay, like maybe, you know, all right, your lore is pretty cool. I'll give you that. But like, stop giving it to me in comic books and maybe I'll actually pay attention to it.
Yeah. Ooh, or, you know, if like for a good piece of lore, make it like one of Wraith's siblings, right? They got brainwashed.
Yeah.
And, like androided out.
Yeah, like you're the only one that can find her. Yeah, like shit like that. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm down with that. I'm cool with that. Like that'd be dope. But like they don't do shit like that. Why? I don't understand. Give me the juice.
They could have such like a vast like cinematic experience for their games.
Yeah.
And they just give us these, you know,
Comic
2-3 minute
strips.
things. And like, don't get me wrong, some of these 2 to 3 minute like cinematics that they give us are fire.
Yes.
And
the
then
stories
some
from
of
the
them
Outlands
are
are saying?
just like, yeah. And some of them are just like,
Yeah. The past couple, I'm going to be honest, have been super low impact.
yeah.
I haven't been into a good few of them in a long time. The Fuse one was
Production
great.
quality.
The Fuse one was great. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
That was a good set of like season intro trailers and things like that. But, you know, outside of that, it's been low tier since like season 1 through 4.
Yeah, and then the entire build up to crypto I thought was really good.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The teasers, you know, he was in the very first trailer of the game, but like you didn't know who he was, and it was cool. Yeah, that was a really cool thing. They just kind of like fell off that mindset. I don't know why. But so here's the last thing. In-game cinematic events.
Yes.
We need them. That is the last thing that Apex is falling behind on. And if it would start to do that, it would possibly, viewer numbers wise, be able to compete with these other games like Warzone, Fortnite, etc. Now, they could really go all out with this because Apex is kind of its own beast with the legend system. You could literally have everyone spawn in as the dummies with infinite Valk jets, so that you can fly around and watch follow the cinematic as it's happening.
Yeah.
How fucking cool. That'd be insane. And like you see the other legends in the game, like you see Mirage, Lifeline, and all these people in the game acting out these cinematics on the map real time. And you can watch this happen. And then at the end of it, like a big map change comes through. Or like a new legend is introduced. Imagine that. A new legend comes walking out or whatever.
Like,
oh,
like you think just some massive freaking care package weapon is coming down, but it's actually just a capsule with a person.
and
just, like,
Fuse's
open the door.
girlfriend or whatever busts the door open and she's like, "I'm here, bitch." You know, that'd be crazy cool. But I don't think it'll
Somebody
happen.
decapitates her.
Yeah.
We get the
And then-
actual new legend.
Yeah, Revenant comes out from behind. Like, fuck you, dude. But yeah, I would love to see an in-game event. I think that's one of the bigger things content-wise that Apex is definitely behind the curve on. It's not that hard to do. I understand that Apex's developer team is much smaller than most developer teams, but come on. You could work on it for the next 6 months and release it to me for season 11, and I would understand if you start today.
And I'd be happy.
Yeah, I'd be good. I'd be very happy, honestly. I would be stoked. The amount of joy I would experience from an event like that. But I think that's about, I think we're good on this episode for today. A little over an hour. These episodes will eventually get longer. We will start pouring more content into them as the viewer numbers on our other platforms that we upload to start to grow. We will start improving the quality and everything else. We'll start making changes. But I don't think right now it is worth investing any money into. I think this is just more of a fun hobby for me and Doc here to work on. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. We did have some pretty good numbers here at a point in time, so I really appreciate you guys coming through. We did have one question: have we seen the new Battlefield 6 trailer and the new Streets of Tarkov trailer? I haven't seen the Streets of Tarkov trailer, but I have seen the Battlefield 6 trailer. And it literally just looks like so Battlefield 6 trailer, it just looks like Battlefield 4, but with a new engine. Am I saying that's a bad thing? Absolutely not. Battlefield 4 was the best Battlefield that has ever been released. So if they just do a revamped version of that, I'm cool with it. Streets of Tarkov, that's all you. I don't really know nor care about that game.
Yeah, so Streets of Tarkov does look super, super awesome, and I'm glad to see that they have the map in a kind of a playable state for more than one person, as they showed in the trailer. Like, they're showing actual fights, so they do have a working, map right now, and it's going to definitely be polished up and everything. I'm really hoping that they do decide to, switch to the new Unity engine for that, Unity 2019, because right now Unity just is doing Tarkov just a massive injustice, and they did make the game a lot more immersive. The environment is like destructible in a lot of areas, like even to the point where, like, if a grenade goes off in another room, books will fall off the shelves. Yeah, so it's looking like it's going to be a lot more immersive of a game, and I'm super excited for that. I can't wait for the changes.
Dope. Okay, so this has been Gamers Gaming. I appreciate everybody for stopping by as usual. GG's, everybody. Come see us on Monday. We're going to be talking about some anime stuff. A lot of big news has happened in the past couple of days, and we're going to be covering it. Peace.